How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, smell, taste, see, then real is simply computer-generated dream.
Now is the only thing that's real.
Cut off.
Take that, drowsiness.
I think everybody's gonna need them a good cup of coffee after this.
Yo.
So get to pouring.
Yeah, go ahead and get to pouring, get to packing, get to rolling, get to chopping them out. You know, get your breakfast on the mirror, whatever you got to do. Yeah. So, we were attacked by today's subject. I feel personally attacked, in fact.
Very much.
I clearly remember recording an episode last weekend that was a lead up to this episode, an entire episode on the nature of reality itself.
And apparently we stepped into another reality.
Where I didn't. Did you just see the glitch? Oh, I hope that this isn't a choppy video when we play it back later, because there's a whole different scene just popped up for like a split second. That was fucking crazy. Like, all right, so Mandela is here, and we're talking about his effects. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, we're not going to be talking about his effects on apartheid in South Africa.
Yeah, after he died in prison and became president.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? I mean,
and then died again.
You know, Serge Tankian from System of a Down did a whole album entitled "Elect the Dead," and that's kind of what happened with Nelson.
I mean,
because look,
half the fucking world remembers him dying in prison.
Bro, I remember it being taught in school and seeing pictures of his funeral.
But somehow
he died, but yeah.
A decade later, he became president.
Well, it's like, dude, there was this, when I was doing landscaping, there was this yard they had like a little pet cemetery in their backyard, right?
Yeah.
And they had their cat had died. And there was 2 death dates, like years apart for the cat. I shit you not, dude. And it blew my mind because I immediately went to Stephen King Pet Cemetery. You know? It's immediately what I thought of. In fact, I took a picture of it and posted it in a Stephen King group I'm on in Facebook. And yeah, so I always wondered, like, did they just get a cat and name it the same thing and save money on the tombstone? Did they think the cat was dead, have a fake funeral, and then have the tombstone made and then, oh well, never mind, here's Tabby. Like and the woman who owned this poor cat, I would have died twice too. Like, she was fucking nutter butters, man. Like, she had a backyard that had like a pine tree forest in it, kind of. You know, you're familiar. And there was, like, we would have to go through and pick up the pine cones. We couldn't disturb the pine straw. Like, I always refused to do it. I would cut the grass, weed eat, blow the leaves into the pine straw to blow off the grass, and I'd get in the goddamn truck. I ain't going out in the woods picking up pine cones. I ain't fucking doing it. No job's worth that for me. There's a little bit of pride involved, I feel like. You know,
Everybody's got to find their somehow.
going into the woods to pick up pine cones. If you don't want pine cones in your yard, you know what you fucking do? You cut down the goddamn 150 pine trees. Like, this wasn't just like 2 or 3 pine trees in a circle. This was, entire backyard was woods.
That's why I like where I live. I don't have grass. I don't have to worry about much.
No, you have pine straw.
Pine straw.
And
pine
cones.
cones. And I have my paths where my cars go. I have no fucking yard maintenance.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
far as I'm concerned, I have no fucking yard. I have a house in the fucking woods.
Oh man. So today we're gonna talk about
Somewhere you actually picked up those fucking pine cones though.
in another world.
Another reality.
Yeah, thankfully I don't have a memory of that.
You do.
I
You
mean,
just can't access
oh God. So yeah, we're talking about Mandela Effect today, guys, and I guess we're going to have to do a quick rundown on what we talked about last week because that episode just fucking vanished. It was uploaded to Twitch, and it was also saved to my computer because after I record these episodes, I try to kind of scroll through, make sure the sound didn't fuck up through it after certain recent foibles.
We're professionals. We never have any kind of issues here.
Yeah, so after recent foibles, I try to go through. So Mike also remembers me scrolling through, listening to it as afterwards.
Yeah, calling out Signback.
Yeah, and this morning, because usually I get shit ready to upload on Friday, but and I had stuff to do yesterday, which was Saturday. So I was just going to go ahead and upload it real quick this morning before we started this, and it's fucking gone, guys. So
It just disappeared.
it's gone.
It just freaking disappeared.
Completely. There's no record of it ever having existed. Wait. If my notes are not in this notebook, then okay. My bullet points from last week do exist. We did, or did I just take the notes?
We at least planned on it, right?
Yeah.
Then went to another universe, recorded it, and then came back here.
Yeah.
Apparently there was an experiment going on in CERN at the time.
I kind of wonder if, we'll get into Rick and Morty.
Oh,
All right. So what is reality? Right?
Yeah, well, a good fucking question. What is it?
Is reality something that is subjective to your perception, or is there an objective reality outside of your perception? Because at base, the world around you is nothing more than electrical chemical signals to your brain, right?
Right.
And that in of itself is just it recognizing different vibrations of collections of atoms.
Photons,
Yeah, so
particles, rearranging, doing their little thing, bouncing off of things, and creating different things that manifest themselves into our particular recording media, our 5 senses. And we interpret those in how we feel at the time, most of the time.
yeah, that's accurate.
It's kind of like describe blue. You really can't. The only reason blue is because you were told it was blue, so you call it blue.
Yeah, it might not be. Me and you might not see the same color, but we know that color is called blue.
Even if we did, is it really? There's so much more there. We just don't have the receptors to be able to perceive it.
Yeah, UV bands of light and yeah, we
So it's like, what actually is it? We see what we see, but that's not all that's there. So what is reality? Is reality simply what we see, or is reality what we can actually measure? And if that's the case, we don't even live in reality.
yeah, we're just going around measuring
There's a
things.
little piece of reality floating through a little ribbon in reality, and that's all we're aware of.
And, and there's been a lot of people smarter than me and Mike who have postulated the theory and even done some experiments to try and prove its existence, i.e. the slit box. God, that sounds wrong. Man, it's like called the double slit experiment.
I've actually done that experiment when I was in high school.
Yeah.
When they actually taught science back then, instead of just hey, this is what things are. We don't care how they are. This is just what they are. Memorize and move on. I hate to say the kind of term, but back in my day, when they actually tried to teach people shit.
Yeah, Mike actually had to walk to school 35 miles in the snow barefoot uphill both ways.
Sideways.
Yeah, when he couldn't ride his dinosaur.
Fossil fuel.
Oh, what would have dinosaurs used for fossil fuel? I always thought that. You remember the show Dinosaurs? And they had cars?
Yeah.
Like, what are they using for gas?
All righty then. That's an interesting posture. Okay. Didn't expect that to go that direction, but all righty then. We'll get out of that rabbit hole and see if we can find another one closer to our topic.
Yeah, so they postulated a theory that there are multiple realities using stuff like the double slit experiment to show it. The double slit experiment basically says that light will pass through these light photons pass through these splits on a certain way when you're observing it, but when you're not observing it, it falls under completely different randomized patterns, which is kind of somewhat indicates that not only does things like particles behave differently when we are observing them, that it kind of shows that these particles are coming from other places and interfering with the particles from our reality, which means that there's multiple realities. There's multiple places these light particles and photons could be coming from. It's way more complicated than that.
A bit.
I definitely encourage you to look at it. The episode that didn't happen, we didn't really go deep into the double slit experiment. I think I mentioned it pretty much like I am now. It's very complicated. It's part of quantum mechanics and all this, that, and third. But all these people are smarter than us. They're probably
everything exists in every possible state imaginable until you make an observation, until you actually look at it.
Yeah, Schrodinger's cat.
Schrodinger's cat, yeah. It's both alive and dead. You got a cat and a vial of poison, you break the vial of poison. Is the cat dead or alive?
Yeah, and this is in a box.
No, until you open the box and take a look. It is both dead and alive at the same time. And if there are multiple realities, then it is equally possible in every reality that it is both alive and dead. And when you make that observation, in this reality it is A, and in another reality it's B.
Yeah. And like our reality is basically like a grain of sand on a beach.
Yeah,
or bubbles on the surface of water is the better way, is the way I really like it. It's like bubble bath.
It's really hard to wrap your mind around because you want to say that, no, it has to be in that way for me to make the observation. How can I make an observation if it isn't already in that state for me to observe it? But that ain't how it's supposed to work. So it's almost like everything is in a constant flux of which reality it's in. And you're just peeking into different realities when you make the observation.
Well, there used to seem to be some sort of a continuity about things.
And then there's so much shit in the reality that we can't observe, simply because they interact so fervently with like a photon, that the photon that hits it that would bounce to your eye moves the damn thing. So you see it, but it's gone. But it was gone before you actually saw it, because the photon that hit it's what moved it, and then the photon had to travel to your fucking eye. So it ain't even there when you know it's there. It was already gone.
Kind of like last week's episode.
Yeah.
It was there when I observed it. But when I looked away.
As soon as that observation was made, photon pushed the eye.
God damn it.
It has to be hit, because there ain't nothing.
So to try and like figure out how the universe worked all the way back to the Big Bang, They came up with a machine that would accelerate particles at each other and cause them to smash into each other. When those particles smash into each other, what happens afterward, they kind of record all the different data. It's what gave us the God particle, the Higgs boson.
Like, trying to figure out how the hell suns created everything that we know.
Yeah.
Figure it, because you can take energy, and you get enough energy, and energy can create mass, particles. Those particles are created with enough energy that they smash into each other, they interact, they create other things, and then they mingle, they form atoms and the building blocks of what we actually know. All from an excessive amount of energy in one place, creating a bunch of particles that mix together and blah, blah, blah. So we figured, we can do that. Wow, okay. But sure. We want to do that.
Yeah.
Because those interactions in the suns created everything that we see in our universe that we know of. And don't know of. But, we have scary things in our universe.
Literally everything is in space, Morty.
Are we really sure we want to do that? And there was a lot of scare about what would happen if they started smashing together and doing the work of God. And
there was concerns of them creating black holes, of them possibly fucking with the Higgs boson particle. Because the Higgs,
changing the fucking rotation of the electrons.
Yeah, the Higgs boson particle is basically what binds matter together, kind of, right?
Yeah,
it creates matter out of atoms.
With everything.
Yeah, it's why they call it the God particle, because without it, there would be nothing. Right, it'd just be a bunch of particles.
Yeah, they postured that it actually, its interaction facilitates other interactions.
Yeah. And there was concern that manipulating and fucking with the Higgs boson particle would fuck with the Higgs boson particle in all matter, because everything
change its properties.
Because of quantum entanglement. Yeah, quantum entanglement. A particle over here can affect a particle over here.
And what if there's a particular particle, like the Higgs, that is quantum locked to all other Higgs?
Yeah, so you go fucking with it, you unplug the router, and everybody's offline.
Right. You just go back into particles.
Yeah, or the walls start breaking down, right? Particles
snapped. Right?
Yeah. So yeah, but they create.
Yeah, they also had the idea that they could create an actual particle that was so fucking heavy it would punch a hole in reality itself.
There's that.
Into a.
And also, when you're watching these particles smash into each other, they're being observed, right? If you're not observing, and you're smashing particles into each other, those particles are no longer necessarily tied to this reality.
They never were, because you have to observe them to bring them in.
They were only tied to this reality by their observation.
Yes.
If something happened and everything went on lockdown during the middle of an experiment, say, and it wasn't being observed anymore,
then who the fuck knows what happened?
Who knows what happened, right? And it's a good thing that nothing fucking ridiculous ever happened to this machine that creates particles to accelerate at each other and perhaps untie the universe, right? Certainly,
or punch holes
in
the universe.
Certainly no like birds with baguettes. All right, that couldn't happen. Like that, it doesn't even sound real. Like I know why I remember telling you about that before, and you're like, what? No, I'm like, dude, it's so ridiculous.
I'm sure, like what? No,
but it happened. All right, so the machine they created was the Large Hadron Collider in CERN. It's in what fucking Switzerland.
It straddles
a couple countries, actually. Yeah.
It's on the border of,
because it's fucking huge. And what this machine that can uncreate reality. Let me find it here. I have it. All right. On the 10th of September, 2008. Right? Let me see. Hold on. Actually, I think I got it wrong here.
98 and 2008 it was built.
Okay, yeah. September 19th, Wait, is it right? Is it the
17
right one?
miles, 27 kilometers in circumference. That's a big fucking circle. I mean, they literally have vehicles inside this place to maintain it. They don't walk around in this, but they drive around in this place.
Yeah. 2009, a bird carrying a baguette the bird and its bread were discovered at a compensating capacitor, one of the main points where the mains electricity supply enters the collider from above ground. The incident cut power to one of the collider's cooling plants, causing temperatures to rise by more than 3 degrees Celsius in part of the tunnel. Superconducting magnets within the Large Hadron Collider require a temperature of 1.9 Celsius above absolute zero to steer and ultimately collide particles around the 16.8 mile circuit. A bird carrying a piece of bread.
When was that?
2009.
And it was supposed to have caused a problem with the collider?
Yeah.
That went online in 2010?
Yeah, here's even... And from 2009, from CERN. Last week, a power... and this is... Where's the date? Yeah, November in 2009. Last week, a power cut caused by a malfunction in an electrical substation made headlines around the world. Caused by a piece of bread dropped by a passing bird on the substation. Yep.
Okay, well, it couldn't have caused a problem with CERN.
Why?
Maybe in their testing and, preliminary runs. They didn't crank it up for particle acceleration until the following year.
So it was already fucked up by then. Is what you're saying. And the thing is, if a bird can fly over and drop a fucking baguette into it, who the fuck knows what happened a year later? But I mean, that CERN seems to be what we're after. CERN is when we start to see certain things happening in reality, right? Or people's memories of reality.
That's definitely when I remember some shit getting a little strange. People having different ideas of what.
Well, also look at the world we lived in 2008, 2009, and the world we live in today. Now, some of that is a result of accelerating fucking shit, but look how much it's accelerated since then.
And what examples are you pushing at there? Because I don't see a whole hell of a lot of difference except for the social issues. But
yeah, I mean, just the world, the nature of the world we live in compared to the world we live in then is exponentially worse. In a lot of ways, we have more technology, but just think, Mike, in 2008, do you think we'd be sitting here without being high, having a serious conversation about robot police?
Well,
it was a thing of,
RoboCop, bro.
Yeah, there was movies, and that's where these things belonged for the longest time.
There was already robotics. We already knew. As soon as the first robotics lab went online and said, "Hey, look, we can make a fucking little piano playing or what the fuck ever thing." Yeah, I knew that shit was coming.
I felt like it was possible.
I'm surprised we hadn't gotten there earlier. I mean, in my opinion, dude, we were supposed to already have bionic fucking limbs for fucking folks that had lost limbs in war, stuff like that.
We do. That can talk to your brain.
Yeah, we were supposed to have had that a long damn time ago.
Well, we do now.
Yeah, we do now.
We're living
at the very cusp of it. It's like it's a brand new thing now. And by now, I mean in like the last decade. Current technological wave. That's the way I can kind of describe it.
What types of changes are you referring to then? That happened after the CERN
just people's idea of the way things happened, who was a bad guy, who was a good guy in certain, things. The way particular battles went in past history, past wars, it's like people's perceptions got changed where they thought things had happened a specific way and it didn't. And there's actual, full paper trail on the way things happen, but people think it happened a different way. Slow stuff like that, but
yeah. And for a while, I just chalked it up to disinformation. Like, okay, well then somebody's lying, But what if they weren't?
I mean, the whole thing around that, the conspiracy theories, people posing different alternatives for things. That's something that's big. That's popped up really, really big here. And they've always been around, of course. At least as far as I can remember. Anyway, I still hear shit about Nixon. That was before my time. But like the 9/11 thing, coming out with a whole completely different timeline for events.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's not what happened. We have people that were alive then that actually watched it, that seen it, But it's like, which tower got hit first?
Oh, shit, I couldn't tell you.
And the building across that did it collapse or did it only have damage and have to be demolished?
It looked like it got. That looked like a demolition.
There's people say it collapsed during the event, and then there's folks that say no, it was just damage to because of that.
It collapsed during the event. It collapsed during the event, but it collapsed in that pancake shit.
Not the two towers. The one across the
building 7 or whatever, something like that.
I can't remember what.
Yeah, they all nonsense.
But it was.
But was there a Marriott hotel across the street?
Yeah, I've got no idea. No,
that's a Mandela Effect problem.
We didn't be able to have it, yes. But yeah, the missile instead of a plane on the Pentagon. That story really got big.
You are literally, well, your mom technically is literally the only reason that I say okay. Before that, I was like, yeah, I watched the videos. I never saw a plane, and then in the wreckage and the debris, you don't see any pieces of a plane. The plane
you definitely don't, and that is a strange freaking thing.
But you look at Shanksville, there's pieces of plane.
Yeah.
So why was there no plane? And that was what got me on it.
I would have to say I would like to, not with people on board, of course, but I would like to see what a plane does when it hits, a 6-foot thick piece.
Yeah, it's remote. Yeah, they should evacuate the Pentagon or create a new Pentagon and then remote control a 737 into it at the same speed, same conditions.
Yeah. And
see if it creates the same, even a similar hole.
Yeah. Yeah, that leads to similar debris trail. I would like.
What debris trail?
There was some
from the building.
There was a few pieces of luggage that they could have shipped in.
You remember
I'm not saying it couldn't have happened. I mean, they could have shipped in.
You remember the one of the guys who hit the trade center.
There was a landing gear piece there, but I mean. I said,
that's more than I knew about.
Nothing that could have been brought in on
and then you got
just saying. I don't agree with
you. You got steel beams melting on the trade center towers, right? But somehow one of the terrorist passports make it to the ground unscathed. That one to this day.
Fine melting.
There was melted steel. The steel melted. It was hot enough. The building collapsed. Steel melted.
The actual melting could have happened afterwards. You don't have to melt steel to weaken it to the point where a building is going to collapse.
Oh, you have to get it hot enough. But you know what's when you're hot enough to bend that kind of steel at that rate, pretty sure a passport in the plane that caused the fire. There's no other paper from it. It's like the only thing that made it from that plane
No, it
was this guy's passport.
It was his whole wallet. The whole, I mean, the whole.
Oh, right.
Piece of paper. It's the whole folder thing that all the passport papers necessary for travel are in.
And made it together.
I'm not sure if you've ever, actually witnessed books burning or had to burn a book because you're fucking freezing.
I've burned books on principle.
The internal pages, if you don't fan them things out, they don't like to burn.
No, they don't.
There's no oxygen there. I don't care how hot you get a fucking fire. If there's no fucking oxygen, it ain't gonna burn shit.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I agree with you. Except
it's weird as fuck that piece. Yeah, I get it.
Why wasn't Joe Schmo's? Why his?
Well, it just wasn't his newsworthy talking point.
That's fair. It's fair. I cannot say for certainty that they didn't find anybody else's entire folder of paperwork after a catastrophic.
Yeah, maybe the fire was 2,700 degrees over there, but it was only 1,200 degrees over here.
It's just a little air conditioned pocket. He threw it out the plane window.
In some reality, he jumped out of the plane before it hit. He pulled a coup.
In some reality, they hit worthwhile targets. Oh,
in some realities, Russian fucking solved that problem 20 years before.
I don't know if I mentioned this during our 9/11 episode, but there was a group of people that I have talked about on this and Charlie Manson's Fanny Pack called the Church of Euthanasia, and they did a song about the Twin Towers, and there's a line that says, I never understood and I can't understand, or something like that, why they hit the Pentagon and not Disneyland.
Wow, that is a fucking church that makes me consider on joining on name alone.
They're actually, at their core, they're a environmental action activist group, but they encourage suicide.
I encourage suicide. Especially if you're going to try to use it as a fucking guilt trip towards me.
I'm not trying to use it as a guilt trip. I actually believe that the Church of Euthanasia actually has a very Thanos approach to things. And I was Team Thanos.
I'm not seeing a downside.
They look at the big picture and not the human cost.
Not wrong. If you take out that part where they all come back and fix their fuck ups with the Team Avengers, if you leave that movie out, that Avengers between the duo, not the trilogy. Fuck that third movie.
There's like 50 movies
of the Thanos.
Oh yeah, if you stop after the
yeah. Perfect.
That'd been perfect ending.
Perfect. Thanos won at that point. It was right. It won. Everything was great. Yeah, we had sorrow, but hell, we had enough fucking resources to go around.
Well, we can sit around and cry and need to eat the food that we can eat now.
We didn't have to poison ourselves to grow extra fucking food to feed the population.
And it was unbiased. Just half.
Completely random.
Yeah, completely
you die, bitch.
Yeah, I mean.
And I'd be perfectly fine with that. Everybody, you fucking come up to the chamber, roll, you fucking die. Oh,
yeah,
well.
It was an even better odds than a coin flip. Because a coin flip, everybody says a coin flip is 50-50. That's not true. It kind of is, but you're not going to get heads, tails, heads, tails, heads, tails. It doesn't work that way. You might get heads, 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 tails. It's not 50. It's not really a 50% chance.
It is.
How?
Just because it's 50% chance does not mean that you're automatically going to get one after the other back and forth.
I mean, Thanos did.
It's still a 50% chance it can become heads 100 times in a row.
Yeah, but the snap was more, like I said, it's more even than that. It's not going to be everybody.
No, it's not everybody. Everybody has 50.
Because 50% of you are gone. Yeah.
But with the coin flip thing, if you pay 10 people and give them a coin, and
They could all die.
no, everybody flips a coin, and you get tails, you sit down. Eventually, you get 10 people. Somebody in that line is going to flip heads every single time. You're going to be left with one fucking person.
You might.
That person got heads every fucking coin flip through that whole damn thing.
What about...
Now, are they lucky? No. They just flip the fucking coin.
Speaking of such, I was listening to a podcast yesterday that was talking about the Simpsons predictions, right? They debunked several, and I'm glad of that. There was a couple they could not, including where they accurately predicted the outcome of the Super Bowl the year before 3 times in a row. And then they just stopped predicting it. They didn't start getting it wrong. They just didn't do it anymore. But the year before, so these teams ain't even playing in the season yet. You don't know how they're doing. 3 times in a row.
I don't know when they did that.
Yeah, like 90.
I don't know when they did it. But I can tell you now, the reason I quit getting into sports, I no longer watch any kind of fucking sports at all, is because football became predictable.
I realized that when the Patriots won so many times after 9/11. It wasn't the Buccaneers, it wasn't the Gators, it wasn't the Cowboys. No, it's the Patriots. Now, it could be a coincidence, but I think not.
The fucking year Green Bay lost to the Broncos because fucking Favre started fucking throwing the ball straight to the fucking defensive backs. Favre was a fucking perfect quarterback. He did not miss. That motherfucker put it right in the damn numbers every fucking time. He put it right in the damn numbers of the other fucking team every goddamn time. I was like, and I knew the fucking Broncos was going to win because they had lost the year before.
Well,
This
also,
was their last time for fucking what was it, Elway, to be able to win his fucking ring.
and once I realized that the government had a say in it, right? Like, the government got involved with the whole Deflategate thing, right? That tells you that they have a vested interest in football.
So, but yeah, then I saw evidence of it when, my man Favre just started throwing for the other fucking team. You don't have an A-class quarterback fucking make that many interceptions like that against a team that was supposed to have won last year, and then, their quarterback's going to be fucking retiring, and you want to give him a ring. I knew it. Hell, I won fucking money off that game. Betting against a team I thought should have won. Green Bay would have stomped their ass. Statistically, all that particular year, Green Bay would have stomped their ass. But, after that, it was like, you can predict almost every fucking game. I just quit fucking watching.
Yeah, I tried to get into football, man, but then 9/11 happened and the Patriots kept winning, and I'm like, there's no way that's a coincidence.
And it wouldn't surprise me that somebody that has the mind of the Simpsons writer would be able to pick up on the same kind of shit that I was looking at. Other people did too, so
it's maybe, but a year before the teams have even played that season, like...
It really was that predictable, man. American football got... I don't know if it's straightened up or not. I haven't even looked at a game. I got no idea who's even still playing. I don't even know what team still exists, bro. I turned it off that fucking quick. I don't bother with it.
Yeah, and I used to watch them for their commercials, but then the commercials got lame. The Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Like back in the Budweiser days, the commercials were fucking on point. Dude, speaking of Budweiser commercials, do you remember the Bud Light Presents Real American Heroes radio commercials?
Yeah.
Dude, they were fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
they were some of the best advertising. Not because they were great, dude. They're almost like little Saturday Night Live sketches. In fact, before I went to prison, and now that I've got out, now there's Spotify and stuff like that. But before, I used to have all my music downloaded onto my phone in like little folders, and I would mix in Bud Light Presents commercials every so often. So you'd be listening to music, and then Bud Light Presents Real men of genius. Real men of genius. It was great. And I miss that kind of, you know. I might reach out to Bud Light, see if I can get permission to start using them.
If they got find their old commercials and use them.
Yeah, like, hey, can I use your old Bud Light's commercials? You don't have to pay me anything. You can, but I just want to use them because they're great.
Still love it. I love them too. I miss
They were
commercials like that.
Yeah, dude, they were good. And you get some here and there that are good. There's a life insurance commercial out now, actually a series of them, about like this dad whose family keeps trying to murder him because his life insurance policy is so good. And like their tagline is, life insurance so good, your family will want you dead. The commercials are great, dude.
Now it's all about fucking Viagra and Cialis and shit. What drug can we save you this week?
Yeah. And now they got like a chew form of it, which, you know, I'll gladly sponsor on our show.
Do you suffer from such and such, or what the hell ever this week? That's the commercials we got.
Did you ever see the American Dad episode of where Stan got addicted to crack? And they're like, and there's like a drug infomercial right when he starts getting hooked on it. Like,
I did not watch very much American Dad.
I
remember that one, but I'm not sure.
Are you feeling down, lonely, or just plain not high? Well, maybe you should try crack. Side effects may include jitters, night terrors, gay for pay. If you experience any of these symptoms, call your dealer. You need more crack. It was awesome. One of the best commercials ever. But now we've strayed real off topic.
In one of these realities, we've actually kept discussing particles and reality.
Well, I think we've talked as much about particles as we've really reached the edge of our where we can talk intelligently about particles. Yeah. If you have a time machine, go back to last week and watch our episode on Twitch.
But it's happening now anyway, so all you gotta do is go to then, which is now. It's always happening, even then. Now it's happening then too. So you can't miss it.
Good. Well, you did. That was then. You missed it.
But it's now.
Just now. All right, so
because everything exists, everything, everywhere, all at once, kind of like the movie.
Yo, have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Cool.
Hot dog fingers. Dude, I couldn't stop but laughing. Every time that came on, it was like, oh my God.
But yeah, it's supposedly something like that.
Yeah, actually.
Everything at every time, in every verse, is happening now. So even things that happened then are still happening now. So all you got to do is just go to then and watch it.
Yeah, you got to find your way there.
Now.
Well, after a bird and a baguette broke the universe, like there was, I forget her name, but when Nelson Mandela died in 2013, she was a little bit confused because, like me and you,
supposed to have died in the 80s.
he was dead my whole life. Yeah, he died in prison, and that was part of the whole thing. He died in prison fighting apartheid. But no, he didn't. Apparently he survived that fight with apartheid in prison and became president and actually won the fight with apartheid. Well, at least somewhat.
Much alive.
Yeah, and then he died in 2013. And when he died, I was actually in county jail. And it came on the news that Nelson Mandela died. And at this point, I had not really heard of this Mandela Effect bullshit.
Like, how did the dead guy die?
And that was my thing. Like, hold up, he's already... Wait. Fake news. You know, like... fake news. He's already dead. But they dig him up and kill him again?
Yeah, I mean, fuck, yeah. So we live in that world now.
Well, and then once it became called the Mandela Effect, because after this, people started coming up with other things, like the Bernstein Bears, or the Berenstain Bears.
Bernstein or Bernstein?
Well, there's an extra E, so it's Baron whatever. It's Berenstain or Berenstein or Berenstein.
It's Bernstein.
What do you remember it as?
Bernstein.
Stain?
Yeah.
Bernstein.
Stein.
Steen. I'm from the Steen universe. Curious George. I remember. Yeah,
Monkeys have tails, right?
sure do. Not this one, apparently. I remember him having a tail. I remember the cartoon.
I do not remember him having a tail.
I remember him having a fucking tail, but apparently he does not. I'm not with the whole GIF, and I come from the GIF universe.
Yeah,
With the peanut
apparently
butter.
there's supposed to be some folks that think that, Jiffy was a peanut butter brand.
I don't recall that.
I don't
No, that one's not. No. And Jif is my favorite peanut butter brand. Yeah, the Looney Tunes logo.
How about we go through the
Yeah,
ones
so we-
first, just because this one's got more than that, and we can just skip over the ones on this one over here ourselves that people.
So go ahead and do the quiz.
Yeah.
All right,
And
guys.
then I'll send you an example of this. I'll send you a link over to this one.
All right, so we're going to take this little quiz here
Somewhere or another.
on BuzzFeed. What color Uncle Sam's hat? I want to say red and white. No, look at that. And another thing about Uncle Sam's hat,
I wrote it was striped.
I remember stripes as well. That was another thing that come up. But nope, it's blue and white. God damn. Name of this candy bar.
Kit Kat with a hyphen.
Yeah.
Kit Kat with a hyphen.
God damn it. No.
No hyphen.
No hyphen.
Uh-oh. Fruit of the Loom.
You remember the cornucopia from a commercial. I remember it on the tag of my underwear.
Yeah, a lot of folks do, man. But the only place I remember seeing the cornucopia is actually in a commercial where they had the big cornucopia and everybody.
Holy shit.
Target. Oh shit. I don't shop at Target, but I drive by them. I think it's with the open bullseye.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's that.
We'll go with that. I'm not 100%.
No.
No?
You fucking high. Of course it wouldn't be. Fucking it costs more money to make it because it'd be 3 rings.
What does Jigsaw say in Saw? Would you like to play a game? I want to play a game. Do you want to play a game?
Well, I want to play a game. It's totally fucking wrong. I want to say, do you want to play a game? But
I feel like it's would you like?
that.
No, I want to play a game. The one you said was completely wrong.
No fucking way.
And I just watched Saw the other day, but then again, I hear it. I was half paying attention because it's Saw. What does Tony the Tiger's nose look like?
Going on the right.
Blue and black. I think so. Yeah. Hey, we're living. All right. Cool.
Hey, look at that.
When does Henry VIII hold of this famous portrait? I always thought it was his belt, but maybe a glove.
Whoa. I think it's glove.
Yeah.
I can see why people would think it'd be a turkey leg.
Yeah. Does any bags wear a monocle?
Old Monopoly Man. No.
But
Relating that with like Mr. Peanut or something.
if you say so, I'll go with that one. Yeah, this one's wrong.
No, dude. They've got a fucking whole fucking song that tells you how to fucking say it.
Yeah, Meyer.
No. It's Mayor.
That's
Meyer.
yeah.
It's Mayor.
This was an Oscar Mayer wiener.
I don't know long is the first name. Maybe they butcher belong. It's belong.
Bologna. Yeah, this bullshit. I'm gonna because we both know what the answer is here.
Yeah,
But god damn it,
fucking black.
he had a goddamn black tail. Peach Chew had a black tail.
So we need to look at our fucking Pokemon cards over here. No.
Nope. Yeah. So whatever. How do you spell the name of the company that makes their shoes? Skechers. With a T or without a T? I remember them with a T.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
No T in Skechers. I remember them with a T. Fruit Loops. Well, the third option is clearly wrong. F-R-E-W-T.
Yeah, that's definitely not.
Yeah, it's...
Well, it was fruit with double O or a UI. I think it's the UI. I think they spelled that right.
wrong. And that just don't look right.
Fucking know.
I don't know, dude. That just don't look right to me.
One of the more famous ones here.
The Bernstein Bears.
Bernstein Bears.
Bernstein. Yeah. However, there is video. I mean, there's a picture. It could be doctored, but it didn't look like it. Of a guy holding 2 VHS tapes. One with each spelling.
Well, I've also seen it with the Bernstein. The Bernstein is Berenstain, like B-E-A-R.
Oh. Well, no, sir. Looney Tunes.
That's what I always thought it was Berenstain.
I'm going to say Looney Tunes.
As in music, yes.
Because of Merry Melodies.
Yes.
Yeah. Ooh. Sex in the City? Sex and the City. You go with and? You are correct. I'm a little upset, Mike. I got 6 out of 15 right.
Wow. Yeah.
Or I'm from an alternate reality here. So there was a thing that happened to me the other day. I was listening to a podcast about Mandela Effects, and I was coming home from taking Jessica to work, and they bring up the Instapot. God damn it. Instapot.
Instant pot. Yeah.
So we were given an Instapot about a year ago, and I brought home the Instapot. I opened the package of the Instapot. I learned how to use this Instapot. I look up recipes on my phone for Instapot recipes to look up how it's done in this, right? They tell me on this podcast that it is actually Instant Pot. And I'm like, no way. But there is no such thing as an Instapot. And I'm like, that's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. I come home. I started to drive home faster. I get in the door. I bring Cthulhu in. I go through the kitchen. I let him out the back door. I turn around and look at my Instapot. And I almost sat on the goddamn floor. Because right there on the front of it is Instant Pot. Instant. The logo doesn't even look right. It isn't the logo I remember. Because, I remember the Insta being in, this kind of a circle. And it was a little bit bigger. And the pot was kind of separate from it. But,
I never had one, so I can't say for sure, but I do remember.
And so I texted Mike, and I'm like, look, it's happening real time now. Because he was a little disturbed. I'm still disturbed. And we did a little bit of Christmas traveling yesterday. And everywhere I went, people had Instant Pots. And they all said Instas. And I'm like, look at that goddamn box. Look at that fucking box. Fucking bullshit. And there's more to it. The Ford logo.
Oh yeah. That one gets me.
The bar through the F being curved or not curved or something like that. Yeah, I remember it the way that it's not.
I do too. Yeah.
Star Wars. What does Darth Vader say to Luke?
No, I am your father.
Yeah, that's the way I remember it as well. Apparently, a lot of people remember this bullshit of Luke, I am your father.
It's been quoted so many times in all other cultures that, as is Luke, I am your father. And it's a famous quote that's not right.
Mm-hmm. It's not at all.
Not even close. I'm trying to send you this fucking link, but I can't find my way to Facebook on this motherfucking piece of shit Chromebook.
You just, well, just send it to my email.
Yeah, sure.
Or send it to the Stoner's Point email. Either one.
That could work. That could work.
And let me get off of this so everybody ain't seeing my business.
That. Do what I'm telling you. Fucking stupid Chromebook. You have to be a PC.
No, it won't. And the thing is, they actually got good specs, but you can't use them.
Alright, so that one's over, so we can run through that thing too, because there's 50 different ones. I'm sure somebody's going to know something weird, some of the stuff that people are noticing that people think are completely different. It does bring into the question, is this, evidence of that they did create that super heavy particle that punched holes in the multiverse?
Yeah, and allowed...
The multiverse exists because we're seeing evidence of it that we just don't acknowledge.
And like any other chain reaction, the more it goes on, the more accelerated a rate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How does he explain Trump becoming president? How did he divergence in the multiverse?
Robot police. I could see robot soldiers. Right? We haven't been rolling those out, that at least they've been telling us about. And usually the military has these things a long time before it makes its way to the private sector or the civilian sector with police.
Yeah, that's another thing, man.
Like, where did these goddamn robots come from? Yeah, we've been working on robots, but last I saw, they were big, bulky things that could barely ambulate.
But this may be a Mandela thing. It probably is. But I remember a fucking thing where they were discussing robotics. At the early 90s at the latest, where this guy was actually had these little fucking robots that would go to the fucking refrigerator, able to open the door, grab his fucking beer, and bring it to him like a fucking dog. You know? And then he had another one that would go clean this room, and it would go in there Roomba style and go clean it. And then we got this fucking this thing from Honda, I think it is. Got this little robot that's humanoid-ish and can fucking walk upstairs and shit, and is supposed to have been taking over some of these fucking service jobs and stuff by now. That they have fucking dancing. That's what we're using our robotics for.
We can barely make a car drive itself safely, but we're giving them guns.
But we've got fucking robots that can supposedly choreograph a fucking dance routine, walk up and down stairs, but the robots we actually use are nothing more than radio-controlled vehicles.
More or less, yeah. Like Roombas, really, they're kind of robots, but basically all they do is they just kind of map things out with their little bumper pad.
They don't even do that. They remind me of the fucking old toy car from when I was a kid, when you couldn't afford the radio control. It would just have the little thing in the middle of it, the spun, you'd bump into a wall, it'd go another direction.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Yeah.
That ain't even robotic.
I think they have gotten to a point now where they can map their way around a house, but that's not that big a deal. They're barely robots. And I thought that was about as in Tesla cars and whatnot. That was about as advanced as we had gotten.
I remember decades ago we were supposed to have been past where we are now.
But now we have Terminators. Out of nowhere. Boom. Terminator. Vacuum cleaner, self-driving car that works.
I would call them more of a Dalek.
Oh, Doubt from the Who, Doctor Who.
Yeah.
The Who. Boy, that puts a twist on Tommy. Behind blue eyes.
I think more Dalek than I do fucking robot.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
You know, some people would call Dalek a robot. I don't call it a robot. That's a fucking robot. As long as it can think, doesn't make it a robot.
we had a chat, but this makes me sign in, and I don't want to do all that. I don't. Jesus, so much work.
It's going off over here, man. I don't know what the fuck's happening there.
Yeah.
Everything's fucking breaking. Every fucking week, something's got to fucking break.
Every.
You get an update, which is what happened here. You get a fucking update, so you can't keep fucking eye on one damn thing without having to fucking not be able to keep an eye on the damn other fucking thing. And then apparently the device I'm trying to use had a fucking update, which changed my whole goddamn screen off settings. Because I know damn well that motherfucker never turned off before, because I had this fucking shit.
But yeah,
But different realities poking their heads through, so where we're gonna go with that?
yeah, I don't even know how do I log into Twitch. I don't remember anything. Oh boy, I guess maybe I can. I don't know.
I ain't doing that.
No. Oh, there you go.
Sends you a message.
The earlier one was hey.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so
That's what she meant, really. Okay.
all right. What?
Apparently that is our sound. I don't know what has happened here, and I don't know how long that has happened, because, you know, I haven't evolved to where I'm using headphones yet to keep an ear on things.
Looks like everything's. I mean,
Everything looks good, but, yeah,
should I mute one of the mics or something?
apparently it's going sideways. Don't know what yet. Let's see if I can get this one to,
Yo.
What the fuck?
Oh boy.
Oh my god, what the actual fuck?
All right. So I guess I'm gonna have to stop this.
Oh my god.
Jesus. And we're back.
Apparently Twitch is having a fucking bad time with trying to deal with different realities coming through it at the same time. You know, fucking
Yo, what if that was true though?
it has to be. There's no other option. Literally, there's no other option.
Bro,
Different realities all coming in at one damn time. It's the
we
only
sounded like the squirrels from Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah.
Squeak squeakity, squeak squeaking. But yeah, going back into the regular the actual recorded file, and sounds fine. So yeah, we're just gonna pick up where we left off. Fuck Twitch.
I just had to be away because that's where most of our issues are coming from lately. So, yeah,
Well,
it is what it is there.
yeah, we'll just upload them later. But I guess we won't be doing any live till we figure out what the hell's going on. But yeah, so like we have robots in this reality.
Yeah, so to speak.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to have better robots. We supposedly have better robots. Like I said, that can be programmed to do a whole fucking dance routine and all that good shit. Fucking walk upstairs, carrying trays and shit. So we should have fucking robot butlers and fucking, all that good shit. We should have fucking...
We don't have robot mine workers, but we got cops.
Yeah. Yeah.
Underground, like, yeah, we can't send a robot to do some like deep sea welding.
Those people don't want the fucking robot to go do their damn job.
Well, because we don't have a universal basic income. We can have robots come in and take care of all of our jobs, but then the way our system works, these people would just be left destitute. That's not how technology's supposed to work. But that's what would happen because we don't have any kind of fallback for them. No, we'll just do something else, and then that job gets taken by a robot. Well, if you're replacing their jobs, give them freaking basic income.
Well, that brings up the whole damn theory is why the hell do we even have to have jobs? I mean, because shit's got to get done.
Because the Lord said that man would make his living by the sweat of his brow, Mike.
Yeah, fuck you too, guys.
Oh, man. So,
fucking robots doing every damn thing. Yeah, we wouldn't have to do any damn thing but share what we had. And yeah, that ain't.
yeah, I can't do that. Can't do that. Who are you going to exploit if all you got is robots? Robots aren't exploited; they're used.
Well, see, I wasn't even thinking on the exploitation line. I was thinking on how the hell do you divide, 500 million by.
Almost all labor systems are a form of exploitation, especially in these right-to-work states.
Well, if you create a robot or you exploit a robot.
But it's a robot. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. So past that point of having to exploit somebody's fucking labor, now we've got all this fucking, the resources. We have unit things that can't be separated, but we only have 1 billion of this particular thing. We got to separate that out by 7.5 billion people. How do you do that? Which billion people get it? Okay, so you cut it in half.
That's easier. Numbers easier now.
Numbers are smaller. You still have 1 billion to go into 4 billion. You can't cut them into quarters. So which billion people get the thing? You're still left with the same fucking question. You have to produce one for everybody. But what if there's not enough resources to go into the production of that particular thing? Do you just say, fuck it, we can't give enough to everybody, we ain't having none of it? Or do we let the rich people pay for it until we can afford to make it for everybody? Or just let them have it first and eventually everybody will get one? But wait, we don't.
I feel like I've seen a move.
Got rid of the monies.
Oh,
So how do you determine?
First off, the people who are truly rich aren't working.
That's wealth.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
You can spend rich.
Okay. All right.
That's somebody's already come. I can't remember which committee it was. You can spend rich.
Yeah.
You can't spend wealthy. You can go from rich to being poor. Once you're wealthy,
it seems like that's it seems like that's the default. I was watching that Netflix series about Harry and Meghan. Actually, it's really good, but it doesn't tell me anything I didn't know because I remember what happened to Diana. But it's really good. And the thing is, though, they left everything behind. They've been cut off by the royal family. They're still doing pretty good. Like it's like once you have been wealthy, you could lose everything. You'll never be poor again.
well, Megan's got the skills to open up a briefcase.
Harry can do this.
That's all you need.
Oh boy!
You got a solid 7, possible 8 that can open up a briefcase and say hi and congratulations and
Well, I mean, there's more to it. She actually has done a lot. As you know, she wasn't a royal always, and they do more for like helping people than anyone else in the royal family that hasn't been brutally murdered by the paparazzi. Quotes.
Yeah.
Of course, there's the whole thing of why do we even have monarchies in this day and age?
Well, those people did a revolution.
They halfway did one. What do we want? A king. What power does he have? None.
We know why they got their king back.
We have tax dollars. We can't figure out
You
how
know
to
why
spend.
they fought for their king back because they wanted to fucking celebrate during fucking midwinter. They wanted their Christmas back.
Well, somebody has to
So they
be.
could celebrate Christ because they were still able to celebrate
Well,
Christ.
somebody has to be the head of the Church of England. Otherwise, the Pope's going to come back in. I mean, what really boils down to is they need someone. They need a way to legitimize their commonwealth.
Just think, somewhere there's a reality where the U.S. didn't revolt, and we're still on it.
I don't know. The U.S. is pretty revolting.
It's a national pastime.
We do it every 4 years, theoretically. I saw a comment thread a few years ago, and it was I remember the group I was in, it was like, America's the only country, because there's idiots out there that don't really realize there's other countries that do things differently. So there's, you always get these interesting little memes and whatnot. And there was a comment on one that said, because they were responding to an American saying, shouldn't you be like overthrowing your government or something about now? This is pre-January 6th. So it's like, yeah, that's kind of what happens. Hard to progress when we keep having to rebuild. We've been in the Reformation for 200 years. But maybe
But what else are we going to do?
argue over whether or not Curious George has a tail.
I mean, just think if we did things like some of these other countries, we could still have Reagan until he died.
Or better yet, we could have had Roosevelt till he died.
Or we could have still had Clinton.
We still have Clinton. We probably still have Jimmy Carter because he's still alive.
No. We didn't have Jimmy Carter.
He would have never made it in because Nixon was still king.
But we got rid of Nixon in a different way. I'm just I'm talking about presidents that were actually liked by enough people to not allow a vote. We don't need to vote. Everything's going great.
I think
The population liked Reagan at the time.
isn't that what's going on in Russia?
How they got Bush because Bush promised to run on Reagan policies and to keep Reagan policies going and keep the nation going in the direction it was. So he got elected and again. So we pretty much had 16 fucking years in a row of Reagan style policies. But it wasn't just Reagan.
Look where we are now.
Well, there's a lot that's happened between the first book
No, but
to now.
before Reagan, the Christo-fascists didn't have as much of a, didn't have so many allowances as they do now. He was the one that brought evangelicalism so heavily into it. And now I'm getting back. Everything's like 2 clicks away from evangelical Christianity.
Well, so it takes solace in some reality in one of these multiverses. There is no Christianity. There is no God.
I know that sounds great.
Unless it's a simulation.
Oh, that's something that was on the episode that never happened. That fan been turned down? It is hot in here.
Feels great in here. It's just a little on the cool side.
You must have more Eastern European, just Northern European. My ancestors wore kilts in Scotland where it's always cold.
A couple of those.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the movie Shazam. Not the recent one.
Not to be confused with Kazam.
No, not that either. There was a movie, and I know it existed. I had
Shazam.
a Disney Adventures magazine that had a full-page advertisement for Shaquille O'Neal playing a fucking genie.
Yeah.
It never happened. I remember when this movie hit the shelves at Blockbuster. I didn't watch the movie, but I remember it existing because I had this magazine.
Hey, what's Shazam? Hey, what's your kill? Big giant motherfucker. I am Shazam!
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We pull that up.
What that other dude people thinking he is?
Sinbad?
Yeah.
Oh. No, not that one. You need like 1990, like 99. Shazam, Mandela Effect.
Kazam. What?
Uh-huh. I didn't even know there was a problem with this until they made the movie in 2016, Shazam. And I'm like, but they already made a movie called Shazam.
But I thought Kazam was a little fucking geeky white dude in a goofy fucking
No.
superhero outfit.
That's Shazam. Uh-huh.
Okay, so that was just us,
No.
fucking flipping our shit.
No. It was Shazam. It was named Shazam because it had Shaq in it. It's another one of those things I clearly remember. And I wish I still had my Disney Adventures magazines.
Where it's in print.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I bet it would be just like my Instapot.
Those letters have already changed.
Those
articles are rearranged.
Yeah.
Because we got a Higgs from a different universe coming around here fucking with our Higgs.
And changing the very nature of reality itself, or our perception of it. Reality remains unchanged.
Yeah.
Or it's just we're perceiving two different realities. It makes more sense.
But is it a different reality?
It's either that.
If it's in our reality, it's now our reality.
It's either that or it's Rick and Morty and we're being flicked around between realities without
It
our...
can't be another reality if it's in our reality. If it's in our reality for us to perceive it, it is now our reality.
But now there's two realities.
There is no two realities.
Yeah, well, then two realities have merged and become one. Either way, Curious George
It may have come from another.
did not...
It may have come from another reality. But once it is in this reality, it is our reality.
Curious George has a tail, bud. Hear what reality says.
You should have that damn link over there.
I looked like forever ago. And I but then I forgot. Let me see here.
Get it to the jump folder.
No. Did you send it to Stoner's Point?
Asked me if I would like to send it without a fucking topic, and I said yes.
Well, all mail. Twitch, Twitter, Linktree, nothing else. Is that computer over there in the Mandelaverse?
Right there on mine, in my sent folder.
Cool story, bro.
Right there.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I see it.
See, it is at least in my reality.
It's not in mine. And I have reloaded like 4 times. Patreon, Apple, Acast. Chats. Scheduled. All mail. Spam. Trash. Categories. Social. Updates. Forums. Promotions. Dude, it's not in here.
Why is there?
Because there's two realities, Mike.
Gotta send this to the other.
That'd be helpful. Hey, look, there it is.
To both realities if I have to.
Watch me get it twice. All right. Now I got that open. I can go over here to our slideshow.
That was.
All right.
We could see it sit there in my outbox, sent. Not in that inbox.
There's curious. Oh wait. There's Curious George. Well, not really. Nelson Mandela.
The whole reason of the season.
The reason for the season. Yeah, and this one, like I said, it was always GIF. I don't remember Jiffy. At least it was always GIF in my reality.
Yeah, I don't remember Jiffy at all.
It was always Looney Tunes with the U because of Merry Melodies. Oh, we've been through the Berenstain Bears, which existed. Never heard any such nonsense as Berenstain.
Oh, like I said, I remember the Berenstain.
Yeah, I feel like I do too. I kind of feel like I do too, but...
Yeah, that's Curious George. Which way you guys remember him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Sex... I never paid much attention to Sex and the City, or In the City. So I let that one slide, you know. I'm like, yeah, well, I never paid attention. Febreze, I honestly did think it had two E's. So apparently Febreze only has one E. F-E-B, well, I mean, F-E-B-R-E-Z-E, where I was certain it was F-E-B-R-E-E-Z-E.
Never paid attention. Wouldn't be able to put an opinion on that one.
I'm pretty sure the first one, Febreze with the two E's. We've already gone over that Oscar Mayer nonsense.
And the Skechers and the Fruit Loops.
Mm-hmm.
I swear I remember that box, man. I swear I do.
I remember the Monopoly man having his fucking monocle, but it looks right, doesn't it?
It does.
And Pikachu's tail was definitely black.
Yeah.
The hyphen and Kit Kat was there.
I swear I remember that. No cornucopia on the labels.
You remembered that. I remember cornucopias. Cheez-Its. Oh, God.
Cheez-It. We call them Cheez-Its.
Yeah, I think you're right there. And that's nonsense. The Oreos. That's absolute nonsense. Double stuff with two F's is how it is. They're trying to say that there isn't a second F in stuff on the real Oreos. And I say, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Thought when they first come out, they were double stuffed.
Maybe, but I remember double stuff.
Definitely two F's.
Yeah. Mona Lisa's smile, I don't know. It's always been kind of a faint smile, like a secret.
Yeah.
C-3PO having a silver leg?
Yup.
Yeah.
Always has. Well, not the very first ones where he was just being built and didn't have a skin. And then he got the skin, which was all silver to begin with.
I had one of my dad's Star Wars toys from the
The
70s.
toys did not have the silver leg.
No, they did not.
Toys did not have the silver leg.
The Flintstones. No. No, there's no two T's. That doesn't even look right.
No, it's on the left.
I had an addiction to Flintstone gummies. Now, yeah, I see why they think there would be a T there, but it doesn't even look right. With the extra T. Flintstones. Negative. I refuse to accept it.
I don't get that one either.
I don't know what thing is going on with Cinderella's Castle. I can't really speak on that intelligently. Yo, Ed McMahon didn't hand out the Publishers Clearinghouse checks? No. No. There's no way.
I don't remember him ever personally handing out the checks.
I remember seeing the videos of him at the doors with the balloons and the giant check.
No, it was just random folks.
No. Well, that's our separate realities.
Play it again.
I never saw Casablanca.
Nope, he never said that.
No, he didn't. Yeah, there was no Luke, I am your father. It's no, I am your father. Is it going to go into Clarice? Maybe not. What's this? Oh, no.
I don't need a bigger boat.
I remember it being we're going to need a bigger boat. But okay. I don't know. I feel like chartreuse is purple.
I don't know.
I don't know enough, but I feel like if somebody said, go grab that chartreuse one, I wouldn't grab the green.
No, I definitely wouldn't. But, I just got into color theory not too damn long ago, so I got introduced to magenta.
They pronounce Parmesan differently here. It's Parmesan. Yeah.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
No. No. He said life is, not life was.
No, he said my mom always said life was like a box of chocolates.
I was her mom always said life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
His mama did say life is like a box of chocolates to him, but when he when he referred to it to the other person, he had to put the proper grammar.
No. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's Mirror, Mirror on the Wall.
Oh, not in the original, dude.
Not in your original.
Not in the original. I get that from every. That's been a pet peeve of mine on every remake that they do of the Snow White. They always have to do it with the mirror, mirror on the wall kind of thing. That is not the way that fucking went. It's all the remakes they've done have mirror, mirror. That has been.
When were those remakes made?
80s, 90s.
Okay. I'm gonna say if it was like the Snow White and the Huntsman, so it's like, well, that's post CERN.
Yeah.
But I remember Mirror, Mirror on the Wall.
Everybody remembers that because most of the ones you're actually going to see are remakes of the classic. The original, no, it's Mirror on the Wall. That is a lot easier to remember. Mirror, Mirror on the Wall.
That's false there too.
Where you at?
I remember that song. I'm so 2008. You're so 2008. I got that boom boom. Yeah, I remember that song. She doesn't say 3008. It's no.
I don't know why she would.
Yeah, it doesn't even fit. 2008, you're so 2008. That's actually clever. 3008, that doesn't even add up. But it doesn't matter because that's not what she says in the song. And maybe it is now, like my goddamn Instapot.
Back and listen to it. It is now, yeah.
Luke, I am your father again. Why? Tom Cruise's sunglasses. Yeah, I remember him wearing some. I even remember him putting the sunglasses on. It was part of the whole scene.
Yeah.
And now they're saying he didn't have sunglasses in Risky Business? Or pants. Of course, I remember that, but all the Tom Cruise I could put up with right now.
Oh, no.
It was Fly. I remember him saying Fly, you fools. Gandalf. Yeah, he never said hello, Clarice. Not in Silence of the Lambs. He did say it in Hannibal, but that's not what they're quoting. In fact, they started quoting it as hello, Clarice.
And he didn't even say that in Hannibal, in that exact word. It was, well, hello.
Yeah, it was well, hello. But that's the only time he says hello, Clarice.
And I think it's, well, hello there, Clarice.
Did you see the TV series for Hannibal?
No.
Dude, it's actually really, really fucking good. It is fucking awesome.
But yeah, I know everybody goes to that fucking hello, Clarice.
Yeah.
I always said.
Yeah, do you remember this one? I remember him singing Of the World at the end of the song. And not the live version, but the studio version. The We Are the Champions. The song closes out in my memory of him singing Of the World.
I don't know about if I'm remembering the original song or what they're saying is the Wembley Stadium performance. It might be that the only thing I've heard is the version that he actually did do it.
Yeah, I've never. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
There's no other way to end that song. If you don't have Of the World at the end of it, it would sound stupid at the end. What does he say at the end?
Nothing. He ends it on
ends.
Pretty much.
That would no.
I remember the Mr. Rogers theme song being A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood before the Tom Hanks movie, which actually was pretty good.
Yeah, I do not remember A Beautiful Day in this neighborhood.
Mm-mm.
And I actually liked Mr. Rogers when I was growing up.
Yeah. Lucy, you have some splaining to do. He said that. I used to watch a lot of I Love Lucy on TV Land at night. Well, it was Nick at Night at the
I
time.
remember him ever saying it.
I do.
Weird. I know all the parodies of the comedians using that line. I don't.
I can clearly remember him coming in the apartment door, closing the door, taking his hat off, and saying, "Lucy, you have some splaining to do." I clearly remember it. I don't remember this next one. I don't recall ever that. Although, did you see that Puerto Rico is on its way to becoming a state now, instead of just being a colony?
Don't know. I haven't heard anything new about it. But it wouldn't be new.
Sinbad playing. Back to that again. We already talked about that. I don't know anything about Sally Field. I've seen it parodied. You love me. You really love me. But no, it's Smokey the Bear. They're trying to say it's Smokey Bear. No, sir. In fact, there was a song, Smokey the Bear, huffing and a puffing and a sniffing in the air. He can stop a fire before it starts to flame. That's why they call him Smokey, and that's how he got his name. Smokey the Bear. And that song's from like the 50s.
You remember, Smokey the Bear says, only you can prevent forest fires.
Uh-huh.
Not Smokey Bear.
I've never heard of this. That's fucking nonsense. Oh yeah, Tiananmen Square. He was run over and killed. There was a System of a Down song about it.
Yeah, Tiananmen Square. That was the thing.
He was killed right there.
I don't know what other videos are showing him unharmed, but
Maybe the Chinese government released some altered videos.
maybe
Because he was run over.
before they had 15-second censorship windows. He got run over.
I guess I don't recall. Billy Graham.
I do remember his funeral.
Yeah, I know he was alive in 2012 when I was scoping his house out. Fucking Fortress. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. No. He was standing there by the record machine. Not dancing there by the record machine. Yeah. Fake news. I remember Mother Teresa getting canonized. I remember it before 2016 as well. It was I remember her being canonized as a fucking saint. A piece of shit that she was.
I can't remember the exact fucking year that.
Yeah, this was before I was born.
But I remember sitting in science class watching
The Space Shuttle Challenger explosion that happened before I was born.
Yeah, I was a kid in fucking elementary school. I cannot remember the damn year, so I can't put no light on that. If you'd have said 90, people thought it happened in the 90s. So I've been like, no, it happened in the 80s, but 4, 5, or 6, I think that close.
Now, this one, I remember this case a little differently. My understanding was that they did find the body of the baby of Lindbergh's baby 6 months after, but it had never been solved. And according to this, his son was kidnapped, they found the body, and sentenced the killer to death. My memory of it is that they found his son, but they never found the killer.
Yeah, my memory of it is
that's why it's
one of
such
the
a big
longest
mystery.
cold cases still going on. I don't know. I had no idea they found him.
Oh. Patrick Swayze. I don't know enough to recall about all that. I just remember when he died. Oscar. I feel like he got an Oscar for fucking Titanic.
I know he was nominated for, but yeah, I thought so too.
Like, how did that movie not get? How did everybody in it not get fucking Oscars? I don't know anything about Disney World. I can't speak logic. I can't speak on that one. Is that the end of the article? Yeah. All right. So, if you've been watching the video, you've just seen us go through the 50 biggest ones. There's a lot of them, though. And the fucked up thing is, because most people aren't going around talking about every single thing they remember, who knows what else is out there?
Right.
That Instapot fucked me up, dude.
You talk to other people about their remembrances of past events, and you find out that people remember things differently. And which brings up the other question: is just because their senses tell them one thing, does that make it the reality, or does it make it a different reality, or is just one of you fucking wrong? We don't know. Supposedly, though, it is. You're both fucking right. You're just in different universes.
Yeah, and like you can't deny that it's a thing, you know? A lot of people say, oh, it's just people misremembering things. It's like, well, it can't be that. To a certain degree, sure.
It's like all the other things. Once you get a certain number, you have to go start counting the possibility that it is in fact reality instead of just a fad thing that's happening on the fringe. So you have to start giving it a little bit more credit that this shit might actually be happening instead of people remembering things. Maybe this event actually did happen this way, and the reality shifted a little bit for certain few people.
Don't care what anybody says. I opened the box for an Instapot. I see, and Jessica remembers it being Instant Pot, and she thinks that the confusion comes from Instagram. No.
I think the confusion just comes from the way that we, down here in the South, just decided to shorten every fucking thing.
Yeah, but we didn't shorten the label. The logo is different, dude.
Well, that brings up another thing I was watching with a guy saying that reality doesn't actually exist until it renders for us.
Yeah.
That we are the ones that actually create the reality as we need it. It's kind of like with video games.
Yeah, Roy.
The shit way out in the fringes might have some basic form to it, but it hasn't been fully rendered. It's low graphics, you know?
Yeah.
Low DPI resolution out there. You really can't tell what it is, but it kind of exists. It's ready to be put together for you, but those particles haven't come together yet. They don't know what they're supposed to be yet, but they're all there ready to assemble. And as soon as you look at that, they come together and become what they're supposed to be. So as you turn away, they can be whatever. They can be whatever this person decides to look at that particular time when he looks at it, or she. You're looking over here, it doesn't exist for you anymore. Those particles now become whatever they need it to be. It can be the exact same thing. It doesn't have to be. Because it's their reality now that it's forming to, not yours. You're looking over here. So you're rendering in everything over here. So you only render what's in front of you. What's behind me back here, like this wall, only exists when I'm looking at it. When I'm turning around, it's whatever you're seeing.
Right.
Kind of thing. And everything, all the particles will come together and be what you need them to be as you render them. If you're rendering in that box, your reality is going to be constructed on your experiences of past realities that have been constructed.
Makes sense.
So you constructed that box to be an Instapot, complete with the logo as your reality demanded.
And it remained such until I was told otherwise?
Until you were told otherwise, yes. And now you see what you were told that you needed to see, so it rendered in what you expect now.
I fully expected it to be Instapot when I got home. I don't know who the hell came in my house while I was gone.
Either that or it is just an amalgamation of fuck, I had it right there. Damn. Mass manifestation.
Okay.
Probably not exactly
like
what
tulpas.
Enough minds focused
Yeah.
on the thing, create the reality as it is.
Self-manifestation.
Yeah, kind of thing like that. So if you got enough people in your general area that are thinking of it as this, whether they're conscious of thinking of it as that or not, you're just in a group that thinks of it as instant pot. So your pot became instant pot as soon as you were aware of the existence of the other psychosis around you. I just don't know.
It's
How do you explain one thing becoming another in the time that you look at it?
you can't, but I also cannot deny that it happened.
41 pounds of marijuana seized after a North Carolina chase.
I'll make sure I don't know them.
Totally off topic, but I like the idea of it.
I need to see those bottom pictures. I'll make sure I don't make any wasted trips today. God, that dude looks like Dave Chappelle on the left.
Doesn't it?
Okay, yep, don't know any of them. Cool.
Attempted to pull a vehicle over for a stoplight violation. All right, folks, if you carry massive amounts of drugs in your vehicle,
Yeah.
follow the fucking law. Don't do stupid shit. Check your vehicle, make sure all
And
your
if you're
lights
running
work.
from the cops, don't hit a curb.
Yeah, if you're going to know how to drive before you try to run.
Yeah, for heaven's sakes.
They have schools for that. They don't explicitly teach you how to run from cops, but they teach you how to drive.
Yeah.
Use in other endeavors. just putting that out there. But failure to stop for a fucking stoplight. Come on.
Yeah, there's a song by Yo Gotti called Pure Cocaine. And he basically has like an instruction book in the lyrics that tell you how to traffic drugs smartly. You know, he dresses up nice. He's got a Bible on the dashboard. He drives in the rain a lot. Always keeps both hands on the wheel, driving the speed limit.
Unless you're around a whole bunch of other cars and you kind of follow the flow.
Yeah.
You don't want anything to draw attention.
The speed limit is what everybody else around you's doing.
Yes, you don't want the cop to look at you. And if you do something you're not supposed to do, he's going to look at you.
And you are less likely to be accosted by police if you're doing nothing if it's raining. Because they don't want to get out in the rain either.
Absolutely. And then I heard this fucking, I don't know if it was a comedian or somebody actually telling a life experience about actually having a fucking, like a Marine sticker on their back of the car. You know, a service sticker would probably work. Just saying, yeah, hey, I served in whatever, or, you know, who are Marines or what the heck ever, something to promote the armed services. And the cop pulled him over and said, you know, where did you serve? I didn't serve yet. I'm actually going to the recruiting office now. You know, and the cop let him go.
You gotta know how to play to your audience, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, me and Crayon got pulled over one morning on the way to work in my truck, and we got searched because it was my truck, and by the Franklinton police, and like one of the cops like saw Crayon's like army hat thing. And so they were able to talk about veteran things, which got me out of being charged for the fucking ounce and a half of pot they found, the wax. Like, it got me out of all that charge. And they didn't even search as hard as they would have, because if they would have just simply moved my phone off the ashtray, they'd have seen the joint that was still probably smoldering. They didn't pat me down, nothing. And I think it was literally because of Crayon.
That's one thing I can say that, very, very large folks have an advantage in. At least one of my friends used it as an advantage. And cop stopped him and fucking kind of lifted up one of his rolls and shoved the fucking bag in between the fucking roll. He just stood there, dude.
Yeah.
And if cops pat him down, whole search for every fucking thing. You're like, we know you got weed, you got papers there. Yeah, that's because we had weed. Where's the weed? Smoked it all. Almost out of paper. Yeah, it was sitting there. You can smell it. I can smell it. Yeah.
Cool story, bro.
We just smoked a fucking joint.
Cool story, bro.
He's sitting there with a fucking ounce and tucked in between two fat rolls. You motherfucker.
Hey.
Yeah, some motherfucking realities. Motherfuckers don't fucking search a little better than that.
Yeah.
But no, he's one of the lucky ones.
Yeah, I'm white, so I got searched a lot, but I also got let go a lot when they found drugs. Like,
yeah, I was in that class of white that got searched a lot, but of course, still white.
Yeah, as long as they don't find meth or heroin.
There ain't enough here for me to bother with you.
Yeah, as long as they're not finding meth or heroin, they tend to leave white folk alone. It's unfortunate. I mean, it's fucked up, but yeah, folks, that's the Mandela Effect.
Which probably isn't going to happen.
Oh no, I'm uploading this today. I'm uploading this today. Matter of fact, as soon as I finish recording, I go take a little potty break. I'm gonna Do all
Now,
my
full
transfers.
disclosure, we had this whole plan. We were going to play this little game for a little while
Yeah.
about the Mandela Effect taking our fucking video, and we didn't record last week because of some technical difficulties, and let y'all see that video and then change it to this video. Swap them out every once in a while so it would keep the thing
Yeah, so you never know which reality of video you wanted. It was going to be a layered joke that went on for years.
But apparently, in planning this reality,
We created
conjured this.
we fucking created
We actually had a technical difficulty that took away our fucking video.
the whole video. And now, and where we were a week ahead, now we're back on track of record and release. So we'll get back. We'll get it back.
So, yeah, we're living an example of the Mandela Effect. We swear we recorded.
Fuck yeah, we
We
did.
were just not going to say we didn't, but we did. But now we can't prove that we did. So did we?
Yeah, we were going to not have the episode up and then refer to it so that when people went to look for that episode, it wasn't there, but have it up for a few days so that they'd see it there.
It's right here.
Where?
And then refer to it next week and be like, no, yeah, I saw it right here. And then when you go look for it, it's not there. And this one,
Yeah, we were going to fuck with y'all, but Nelson beat us to it.
So again, leaves you with the question: is reality actually real, objective, or is it subjective? Is there an objective truth to reality, or can you manipulate it just by thinking about it?
Yep.
We just did. Explain that one.
Yep. Well, guys, if you like what you heard, smash all them buttons. You can find us at patreon.com/stonerspointpod. You can join our Patreon, get bonus episodes and Skeeter's Bar Talk, and yeah, so.
And eventually we'll keep enough episodes around without Mandela taking them away, or Satan. He come around a couple weeks back and fuck shit up. So, eventually we'll get through all that stuff and we'll talk about, stuff that reality will let us keep, and, have some clips, that we might be able to put on there for, outtakes and stuff like that.
And if you want to vote on topics and suggest, you can always suggest a topic by sending us a message on, you can go to stonerspointpod@gmail.com. Send us a message if you want to hear something us talk about. We also have a topic list that gets voted on our Patreon. And if you're a patron member, you can vote on topics. Looks like we're going to be doing Area 51.
So yeah, you can either suggest for us to do things, or you can tell us what to do if you pay money.
Yeah.
We'll be your boy toys on that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's, like I said, there's some things I'm only going to do if I get told to do it. Kyle Rittenhouse being one. Joan Benet Ramsey being another.
That one I can almost understand.
Well, see, the Kyle Rittenhouse thing comes out of the police thing, which is already a topic to be voted on. I feel like if we do a Kyle Rittenhouse and then somebody later votes in police, we're going to be backpedaling a lot. You
can separate out the incident from the narrative,
but not fairly, not do it justice.
The reason everybody was there is almost irrelevant. You can separate out the reason everybody was there on every account, every side. Just who cares why they were there? Just the event itself. Just the events themselves.
We could, but we didn't do that for the mass shooters and guns. Of course, that was a nightmare. A fun nightmare, though. And if you're wondering about our numbering thing, I didn't count the mass shooter episodes as individual episodes. So if you're seeing episode 18 and you look and you see that there's like 30 something episodes, those mini-sodes, although full-length episode sized, are just part of a longer episode. So, they're a little mini-series we did. So yeah, don't get too confused by that. I feel like we're going to be doing those again. Maybe not the mass shootings, but we are going to, I think with the police violence, we're going to have to talk about a lot.
We're definitely going to have to delve more into the horrible shit that humans do to each other. continuously doing it.
Every fucking day. But yeah, so follow us, like us, hate us, send us a message and complain.
Comments, yeah, absolutely. Tell us how much you hate us. Tell us what sucks. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you want to hear about. Tell us about your fucking day. Tell us about examples of Mandela Effect in your life.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That would actually be really cool.
What's your perception on reality? Think about it. But don't think too hard because you might change it.
Oh, God. Well, guys, until next time, maybe. Remember, this has been a Nifty Rocks Media production brought to you by The Nothing. And,
We only exist if you observe us, if you believe. Else, nothing.
or you could just do me a favor and stop observing me, and I could just not exist.
That would be cool.
All right, guys. Mike, you got anything?
Next week.
What are we doing next week?
What are we fucking doing next week? Got a plan on that.
Because it's not time for Area 51 yet.
No, it's not.
And we find ourselves an episode shy.
Yeah, so we can't take a fucking week off.
You want to do John McAfee?
John McAfee.
He's a fun guy. Dude, the dude is fucking hilarious.
Oh, why the fuck not?
All right, fuck it. We'll do John McAfee. Yeah, fucking nut job.
Talk about Kyle.
Yeah, John McAfee. You know, he's fucking John McAfee. Like, there's a video we're gonna have to watch after this. I'll show it to you. It basically is how to uninstall McAfee antivirus that he put out. It is. It made me kind of love the man.
Yeah, we'll definitely catch y'all folks on the next one. And for those that are here, we appreciate you. And those that are coming, appreciate you for showing up.
Yeah. Until next time, guys, fuck around and find out.